Part 69. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 681. Kushida discovered it very early, whether it was because this guy discovered her true identity or he often threw trash at her and talked trash, but he didn't seem to have a lower opinion of her. So, in fact, doesn't the other party hate her true side at all? Are you willing to accept the real her? For it. Suddenly noticing this, Kushida paused for a moment. And Kushida also thought about the annoying Azawa schoolmate who gave her a family planning product. It is said that if you want to get enough protection from Oreki, it is necessary to get closer to the two. But when she came here, she was thinking about the other party taking her out, so she didn't take it with her at all. Rather say, now that she is no longer in danger, she is still thinking about getting closer to the other person. This is very strange. Probably feeling ashamed. So Kushida-san started doing questions to ease his mood. After sending Kushida back, Oreki checked the time. Although it has passed the gate time, there is still a little time before 0 o'clock, and most of the students are ready to take a rest. He checked his cell phone and received news from Kamuro that Sakayanagi-san was still awake. He decided to go to Sakayanaga's place. Houtarou. Just when Oreki was heading to Sakayanaga's room, he was stopped by someone at the corner of the hotel corridor. Oreki turned around and saw a cute girl with orange hair wearing a yukata. Her hair was slightly curly and her facial features were very delicate. Sato. Oreki called out the other person's name. Maya Sato and Megami Kuruzawa are good friends. It's just that this time the two were assigned to different groups for the school trip, and the hotel of Hui's group was not here, so the two good friends were forced to separate. And Oreki remembered that some of her team members were students from Ryuuin's class. That. You saw it, Sato-san said. Did you see it? Did it cause you trouble? Oreki said. No, of course not, Sato-san said immediately. Actually, I haven't figured out why I was confessed. Before Oreki went to find Kushida, he witnessed a confession scene. The boy among them is a student from Ryuuin's class, and the girl is Sato-san. That's why Oreki said that seeing them reminded him of the scene when he was confessed to by Sato-san. Then, she said. Feeling uneasy. So, why do you feel uneasy now? Oreki asked. Well, when I was soaking in the hot springs with everyone, someone mentioned that we are already second graders and will graduate from this school in 1.5 years. Then, everyone will probably be separated from each other and have different lives, and then we may not meet again in the future, Maya Sato said. Is it? You still talk about these things. In other words, I am worried that the happy days will disappear, and I still don't know how the future will develop. Fear of the future. Then. Maya said. I don't know what the future will be like. Maybe I won't be able to see Oreki-san again after graduation. It's scary to think about something like this. It turned out that I was worried about this aspect. Then you rejected the student from Ryuuin class, Oreki said. Of course I refused, Sato said. I'm super serious. I'm sure Oreki-san doesn't just look at men. Is it? For now, Oreki listens to her words seriously. Although Sakayanaga's attack power was very strong, if it weren't for the excuse of not having family planning supplies, Oreki felt that his first time would have been taken away by him. Don't worry, Oreki-san shook her hand, you will still be in my life in the future. Then he walked towards Sakayanaga's room. But Maya Sato was still standing there blankly. Because of this move, Sato-san almost jumped up. This seemed to be the first time Oreki-san responded to her emotions, as if he had made some kind of psychological decision. Of course Oreki made a mental decision. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Sakayanagi-san has already fallen asleep. Oreki looked at the snowy scene outside the floor-to-ceiling window, and then tiptoed out of bed. If nothing else happens, Sakayanagi will probably drop out of school soon after returning to school this time. Only. Before her, Amasawa's junior classmate was actually about to drop out of school during the first grade special exam this month. In other words, he will soon become a father. Not to mention that I was completely unprepared, but when it actually happened, I still felt a little complicated. And thinking about it? Drop. Congratulations to the host for triggering the side light novel copy mission. Task requirement: in the light novel world that the host is familiar with, bring order to the chaos. Mission period: 2 months. Task reward: favorability display. Remarks: because we are executing a copy task, the time in the copy and the current time of the host will not be the same. When the task is executed, the main world time stops. Oreki. Do you want this? Oreki just stared at the reward given by the system. Favorability display: the function is to detect the favorability of others towards oneself or the favorability of others towards others and digitize it. They say you can't control the human heart, but you can see the other person's likes and dislikes of you. This ability looks good and can be taken. And since I can't sleep anyway, let's bring some disturbance to my peaceful life. Then, Oreki-san didn't expect that this disturbance would be so big. P.S. The world of practical education is temporarily over, and next is a fusion world, the fusion of Miss Kaguya and Bunny Girl. The next book should be about daily life. Practical teaching is dead. Try it first. See if you can still write something for daily use. Ying ying ying. Piet. Arc missionary, Houtarou my wife. Houtarou, he came from a longer history. He said that I was the second lady of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, that I participated in an event called Ragnarok, and that I fought with Thor. Shining, I really don't know who the conqueror Cassius is. Listen to me, I'm not the apostle you know. Tallulah, the integration movement can't save the infected, he can. Kelsey, I suspect he's been around longer than me. Pope, is this how you preach? Li Kungxing, a reincarnation person, fell into the world of our knights due to the destruction of the main god space. With his memory confused, he met Shi-Erd, who also had a confused memory. Chapter 323 Chika Fujiwara is the student council president, so the school is not a pill. Oreki had not read many light novels, but the moment he chose to complete the mission, the surrounding environment changed. The first thing you see is an unfamiliar ceiling. At the same time, the familiar part also came, coming to a new place, and fragments of memories vaguely appeared in my mind. Oreki also began to check the system prompts. Congratulations to the host for arriving in the parallel world. This is a special parallel world that can only be reached except for missions. It is mainly based on the light novels that the three hosts have read. In other words, we have reached a parallel world. Oreki thought he had traveled directly into the book. So, will there be a Zhuangzhou Mendy situation? Since there is a world based on the light novels he has read, is it possible that the highly educated world he is in is just the world of a certain light novel? But this is unlikely. So Oreki continued to check the information provided by the system. This is a world dominated by Miss Kaguya wants me to confess. It is a mixed world among various young ladies and young men who are cloaked in love, intrigues, interest disputes, etc., all of them. And here he also has the same identity as the last time he completed Chibashira's mission. Oreki Houtarou. The name has not changed. A first-year high school student at Chihide Academy. His identity is the adopted son of the Ishigami family. As for my experience, when I was in junior high school, I wanted to stand up for a girl who was being teased, but I was framed instead. Not understood. Even the girl who was toyed with hated him. But in order to prevent the naked photos of girls from being spread, he could only shut up and endure it. The school that didn't understand asked him to write a self-criticism and asked him to suspend school. The student council president then gains insight into his past and eventually reaches out to invite him to join the student council. And this experience, Oreki felt very familiar. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 682. He has read the work of Kaguya-sama and knows very well that this experience is that of Yu Ishigami, the disciple of Ishigami in the original work. As a result, he became the adopted son of the Ishigami family. Does that mean there is no real man in Ishigami? Oreki frowned slightly. But the system screen has been updated. Congratulations to the host for triggering the main mission, bringing order to the chaos. Mission requirement, turn the illegal plot back to the right direction. Task requirement, remove Chika Fujiwara from the position of student council president. Assignment period, 3 weeks. Mission progress, 0%. Remarks, the host identity system automatically arranges for you Ishigami. Oreki. Quickly collect relevant information. Although he only glanced at the mission requirements, Oreki felt that the student union was afraid that he was going to die. Because the student council president is Fujiwara Chika and the vice president is Shinomiya Kaguya. Yes. Shinomiya Kaguya has no problem becoming the vice president, but Fujiwara Chika became the student council president. Anyone familiar with the world where Kaguya-sama wants to confess will know that one of the most unreliable people is Fujiwara Chika as the secretary. He has a very optimistic personality and loves to play. Still a love brain. Basically they are unreliable. So, Oreki found out that she had become the student council president, and immediately became worried about the safety of this school. Just this time. Don't let him cause trouble for me anymore. At this time, a middle-aged man's roar came from outside the door, followed by a young man's help and advice. After a while, there was the sound of the middle-aged man slamming the door and leaving. Soon, Oreki found that the room had been opened. A young man wearing black-rimmed glasses stood at the door. Houtarou, that's what happened. You may not be able to stay in this family anymore. Of course, although there is no blood relationship, I have always regarded you as my biological brother, the young man said. According to the information in the system's memory fragments, this young man is Yu Ishigami's brother in the original work. And now, the Otomo incident in the original work has ended, and he is invited to join by the student council. In other words, he is in his first year of high school. But his family still treated him indifferently. They have been told the truth by Shinomiya Kaguya, the vice president of the student union, and Chika Fujiwara, who is the president. It's just that this father feels that it is really stupid for his adopted son to insist on a woman like Otomo Kyoko. Because if he continues to protect Otomo Kyoko, it means that he cannot tell the truth about the matter. Will continue to be vilified and looked down upon by others in school. Certainly. This is a kind understanding. Ishigami's father simply believed that this would only continue to embarrass him. The Ishigami family is an upper-class family that my father built from scratch and then squeezed into. So he cares about face. Although the elder brother knew the situation here, he had to follow his father's decision in order to inherit the family business. So, said the elder brother, Houtarou, you have to live outside for the time being. Wait until father's anger subsides before he comes back. These are funds. The brother handed over the money bag with an envelope. The bag is quite thick. There are probably about 1 million. After all, it is a wealthy family. When it comes to treating their adopted son, if the conditions of the other party's accommodation when going out are too bad, it will be even more embarrassing. So the current situation is that you will be kicked out of the house just after you come here? Never mind. Oreki originally had no requirements for the current situation. And he has always taken money very lightly. Just look at this brother now. Brother, do you also think that protecting Otomo Kyoko is a stupid thing? Oreki asked. I don't know, said the brother. But I think I won't do something that will bring a lot of negative effects to myself. Yes. I can't do it either, Oreki nodded. Shiaji Academy is a very high-end school. With such a past, it is difficult to establish a small group with others and obtain various resources and relationships. These words made my brother's glasses light up immediately. Because if you don't know how to do it, then why would you be like this? Because this is not made by Oreki at all. It is the identity setting that comes with the system. Protecting a girl who looks like Baichi gives even him a headache. It's just that his identity has been set up, so he can't let the system let him travel through time and reset it again. Then, Oreki simply packed up the basic daily necessities and left Ishigami's house. Do you need my help? Whether it's accommodation in a hotel or renting a separate house, etc., I can help, my brother said. No need, Oreki said, I can do it alone. My brother looked at Oreki deeply. Remember to contact me regularly. Okay. After getting off Ishigami's brother's car, Oreki was immediately free. The identity setting of the system this time is really annoying. Not only was it set up according to the original work to protect the female classmate Baichi, but it was then misunderstood by everyone. As a result, he was kicked out by his family. But he is a very casual person. Anyway, you have to leave after completing the mission, and the system also said that if it is not a mission, then you generally cannot come back to this world. So after completing the mission, there is no need to have any contact with the world here. So, how do we choose now? He was only carrying a small travel bag. And the backpack is full of money. But this is the accommodation fee provided by the Ishigami family. So I thought about it a little bit. The first person Oreki arrived at was the real estate agent. If you are looking for a house, I know absolutely everything here. What are your requirements for a house? The agent is a middle-aged man with shiny hair. The smile of the service profession appears directly on the face. Oreki thought about it. The requirement of the mission is to remove Chika Fujiwara from the position of student council president. Although he was invited by Fujiwara Chika and Shinomiya Kagaya to join the student union, because he replaced Ishigami Yu's identity, the impact of Otomo Kyoko's incident in junior high school is still there. So as long as you go to school, it will have negative consequences. So it needs to be dealt with first. So, after thinking about it, Oreki said to the real estate agent, find someone with more difficult conditions. The conditions are more difficult, right? The agent repeated his words. Okay. The agent glanced at Oreki lightly. Because judging from this guest's stress and temperament, he is not a man short of money. So, can it be said that, we want to experience life? But unfortunately he guessed wrong. Oreki-san is making arrangements. His current reputation in school is that he beat up male classmates without any reason, and was suspended from school. Then he was lucky enough to be pardoned by the high school student council, and was even invited to join the student council. Generally speaking, he is a disgusting character to the people who eat melons. And he also received an olive branch from the student union, so maybe he also felt jealous. So I need to do some beautification. And this beautification means, a poor sale. Otomo Kyoko's matter is over. The time to clarify or fight back was in junior high school. Now she is in her first year of high school and the daylilies have become cold. So it's important to do a job on the surface. And this job is actually the emotion I got from Kusida-san. Although the past relationship was completely ruined, in the new environment, it can be disguised. And the image Oreki chose for others to see was a miserable one. The agency works very efficiently. Now I have found a house for you with a rent of 50,000 a month. Stay 1 and stay 3. Then it has a separate bathroom, but the environment is quite noisy. And, we can't have very good expectations regarding public security and so on. After the agent confirmed that Oreki wanted to rent a very bad house, he made a recommendation after careful consideration. So he quickly brought Oreki to his destination. A small two-story apartment. It is said that the upper floor has been rented out, and now the lower floor is being introduced to him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 683. The place is not big, about 25 square meters, and it is the type where you can see the bed when you open the door. This kind of room is similar to the single apartment in Yuchun High School. It's just that the decoration and facilities in Yuchun High School are small and well equipped, so there is nothing unpleasant about it. After arriving at the destination and checking the room, Oreki immediately confirmed. This room is quite small. Only. Okay, Oreki said. This kind of small and extremely common house is very suitable for acting. As long as classmates walk in, they will feel embarrassed. You can get image points. And he doesn't plan to live here forever. So. And he paused. Recommend to me another house with high standards in all aspects. The distance doesn't matter, but the rent is about 500,000 a month. Intermediary. Really? The agency finally confirmed that this was the young man from a wealthy family who wanted to experience life. There are dedicated people cleaning every day. And with a small swimming pool dash. The yard is huge and so on. After listening to Oreki's budget, the agent immediately began to select suitable houses. Then he used his mobile phone to show the information to Oreki. It's okay, but this time it was his turn to live where he actually lived, and Oreki became very picky. But it doesn't have a yard, so I don't like it. Okay. Then this one. The intermediary quickly took out the suitable housing in his hand. He has confirmed that this is a real customer who is not short of money and really wants to rent. In this way. It took the two of them about 20 minutes to discuss the matter. Oreki signed the signature very decisively and handed over the money. And all the keys to the houses on both sides were handed over to him. The old shabby house used as a pretext is 3 kilometers away from the high-end and comfortable real place to live. It is quite a distance, but it is not a problem for a cheater with superpowers. After sending the agent away, Oreki began to think. Although he plans to live directly in a high-end apartment, if he brings his classmates or student union members to visit small house in the future, it will not work without a sense of life. And Kusida-san's acting has always been about putting the spirit into it and experiencing it. Put yourself in someone's shoes so that you can perform the play better. So I didn't hesitate to make some ordinary purchases from Daiaji Broken House. Nature. I also bought the cheapest bedding and so on. Oreki has a lot of experience in taking care of himself. But the material arrangement was just like moving to a new home, and it also took some time. Call. This is the last item of today's purchase. He laid out the quilt, and that was all he bought. With this in mind, he directly took the soba noodles he bought and climbed up the stairs to the second floor. The small apartment he currently lives in is on the first floor, but the second floor is rented out. Although the small dwellings here are used to gain sympathy, in order to create an atmosphere of living here, one must naturally have a good relationship with the neighbors. Who is it? After Oreki rang the doorbell, it took a while before the sound came from the doorbell. It was a slightly immature female voice. It's the downstairs tenant who just moved in today, Oreki Houtarou, Oreki said. Oh, the girl's voice seemed to be emotionless. Is it a housewarming gift with food? The other party asked. If it's soba noodles, please don't. I'm tired of it. Oreki. Why do I feel that the other party seems to care about the housewarming gift he sent me? Chapter 324 by Yinghui, Poor Girl. Soba noodles are the toughest of most pastas, but they are also low in calories and the cheapest. It's onion noodles, Oreki said. Oh, the other party's interest seemed to be a little higher. Then there was a click and the door was opened. But there was only a crack in the door, and then I heard the sound of the core of the door lock being ejected and then locked. After doing this, the other party opened the door. This means opening the door to let others in, worrying that others will damage the door and then doing whatever they want, so you deliberately pop the lock out. She is a very cautious girl. He thought so. Then Oreki gently raised his eyes and stared at the neighbor in front of him. This is a young girl with beautiful silver long hair and a butterfly lace headband. The girl is very beautiful. The skin is white and translucent, like a doll. Probably because the living conditions were not very good, her skin color was a little sickly. But she is quite good looking. The facial features are exquisite and beautiful. She was wearing a white dress, which looked familiar. Ah! I remembered. Judging from the memory fragments obtained, this is the uniform of junior high school girls at Shichi Academy. That is to say. Is this girl a junior from Shichi Academy? Wrong. Oreki looked at the girl with beautiful features in front of him. Because this girl, isn't she the sister of the hero in the original work, Shirogane? Ah. I found a shabby house and ended up renting it below Byeonyuxingjia. According to the financial situation of the Shirogane family, there is indeed no one poorer than them in Miss Kagaya's world. Shirogane. This is a very beautiful girl. As slender and fair as a doll. However, the skin seems to be a little sickly fair due to malnutrition. Her eyes are so beautiful that you can't help but stare at them. This is a good-looking girl. And the hair is also a rare silvery white. But now is not the time to stare at each other. Hello. Oreki-san politely handed the onion noodles as a housewarming gift to the other party. I'm a new resident. Oreki, no, Oreki Houtarou. Oreki, senpai. However, Bai Yinghui seemed to understand this name. She stared at Oreki's face in astonishment. It's a pity that the other person's bangs are very long, so I can't see the other person's eyes. It's just that Bai Yongkyu is a polite person. Oreki-senpai, why did you move here? She asked. The private Shuchin Academy is a prestigious school with high standards, and the students there are either rich or noble. Her family is very poor, but she was able to enter the private Shuchin Academy because of the school reform in recent years, which began to recruit some outstanding students from outside and from ordinary families. The requirement is very high academic ability. She satisfied just that. But it was also clear that the other people I met were wealthy people. So she was surprised that a formal young master like Oreki Houtarou would come to rent a house near her house. Maybe it's because of the things I committed in my youth and arrogance, Oreki-san said. He moved here to pretend to be a singer and gain popularity. As soon as Shirogane mentioned his name, he understood that Shirogane was also studying in Shichi Academy just like in the original work, but she was studying in the junior high school. But since she is from the school, she can pass it on to other students in the school through her mouth. Many students at Zyozigakuen Academy are directly promoted from junior high school to high school, and some wealthy families have more than one child, so the news that can be spread in the junior high school can easily be brought home by various students, and then spread to the high school. So now Oreki started acting immediately. Although I received special assistance from the student council president and vice president of the current high school department, I finally successfully entered high school. But my family kicked me out, Oreki said. For it. Bai Yinghui's expression instantly became tangled. She knew about the Oreki Houtarou incident. The original version of this incident was that a senior who also belonged to the junior high school last year was jealous of his classmates who took away the girl he liked, so he deliberately framed her and started a fight in school. The result was a home suspension. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 684. Generally speaking, if he was punished like this, he would not be able to enter high school, but the student council president of the high school department gave him a green channel, so he was promoted to the high school department. And was also chartered to join the student union. Overall, the reputation is not good. Even many people cannot understand the idea of the student council president. And Kei is not the kind of person who likes to gossip about others. She looked at Oreki-senpai's face, and then at the housewarming gift he held in his hand. Such a person is not like the legendary beast-like uneducated person who beats people out of jealousy. Think a little. Anyway. I don't understand what happened. So I can't speak for you. Just, is there any inside story about this matter? Bai Yinghui asked. It can be seen from this that this Shirogane schoolgirl is actually a kind-hearted person. Oreki knew very well that his reputation was very bad, so he deliberately made this miserable gesture. But this silver schoolgirl believed him. Such a child is really in danger in Ziozi Academy, a place full of nobles and wealthy people. Because in front of him, Bai Yinghui lived above his apartment that was sold cheaply. Doesn't this mean that in this world, she is actually extremely poor? Poverty is not a shameful place, but it can easily constrain people. Archangel Ichinos, whom Oreki met in the world of practical teachings, suffered from such a past, and even made mistakes. Although he felt that Shirogane Kei was innocent in his heart, Oreki's face remained calm. After all, this schoolgirl is still needed to work now. So he deliberately showed a hesitant expression on whether to say anything. Because now that I have moved here, I may still have contact in the future. But, he said, please don't tell anyone else. Actually, the truth of this matter, is not a beautiful thing, Oreki said. So, he told about Otomo Kyoko's Dun. Bai Yinghui's eyes widened. I didn't expect the inside story to be so outrageous. As for Oreki-san, he is not Ishigami-yu, and he also has no feelings for Otomo Kyoko. And then the setting of having to protect Otomo Kyoko is simply stupid. So cleaning yourself up is the most important thing. It turns out, this is. After listening to Oreki's story, Shirogane Kei immediately looked at him with a complicated expression. She was invited by Vice President Fujiwara Moha to join the student union this year in the junior high school and became the accountant of the junior high school students. And here in the junior high school, rumors often spread about Oreki Houtarou, a sullen, scumbag senior who is jealous. Although she felt there might be something hidden in it. Result. Is it actually like this? In this way, Oreki-senpai is not only not a bad person, but also, an independent person with a high sense of justice. So, Bai Yinghui seemed to be thinking about his words, what I can do is. Seeing that the innocent Shirogane-senpai really took the bait, Oreki-senpai said. Nothing to do. Bai Yinghui. Then senior, do you think it's okay to continue like this? The bad things about you are still being circulated in the junior high school. Then your current life in high school will also be affected. Because students in the same class as you have also been promoted from junior high school to high school. So, the annoying people are still around dash. Bai Yinghui has a strong sense of justice and immediately gives examples of various unfavorable situations. It felt like I really saw Ichino-san. The other party also has a strong sense of justice. Only. Thank you, Senior, Oreki said, but this is enough. Bai Yinghui. Shirogane Kei stared at Oreki-senpai's dark green pupil on the left side of his cheek that was not blocked by his bangs. She found that he showed no signs of wavering. It was as if he had completely accepted the current situation. Very calm. So, this is a housewarming gift for the visit. If you encounter any problems at school, you can come to me, Oreki said. With that said, he took out his mobile phone. Bai Yinghui also quickly took out his mobile phone, and the two added each other as friends. Oreki, on the other hand, politely handed her the housewarming gift and returned downstairs. And throughout the whole process, he could feel Bai Yinghui's eyes always on him. This is an unexpected gain, Oreki thought. Because he didn't look like he was putting up a fight, which was certainly a lie. Bai Yinghui is a person with a strong sense of justice, so he deliberately told her the truth. The purpose is also to use her interpersonal network to help. Yes. She just said she could help him, but he didn't agree and just let her do it by herself. Asking her for help might be regarded as having ulterior motives, but if she helped spontaneously, it couldn't be said to be his instigation. Thinking of this, Oreki-san sighed softly. He had learned Kosake Inaga's skills. And the other side. Shirogane-kei closed the door, and she looked at the onion noodles that Oreki-senpai had brought to her on the side. From the senior's narration, people quickly understood some doubts about the Oreki-senpai incident that had been discussed by everyone in the student council of her junior high school. It turns out that the truth is like this. No wonder I thought what Ajihara said seemed strange. Because they are Ziozi Academy here, most of the students are promoted from Ziozi Elementary School, and there are very few students from outside schools like her. But why can rich people continue to be rich? The poor Bai Yinghui thought about this matter. An important part of this is that rich people will give their children more favorable conditions, such as giving them more teacher resources. Then they will be given more teaching. As a result, the students of Hideki Academy embarrass the barbarians by fighting in public. Therefore, it was strange for Oreki-senpai to directly beat Agiwara-san in class. It is simply the worst failure of Ziozi Academy education. It's really strange for a person who has been studying at Chichi Academy since he was a child to be like this. And now, Bai Yinghui finally understood that, the truth was like this. Bai Yinghui sorted out the whole story in his mind. This is what happened with Oreki-senpai. Oreki-senpai is friends with his classmate Otomo Kyoko, and Oreki-senpai is a bit introverted, so Otomo Kyoko, who occasionally talks to her, is considered a very good person by him. Soon, Oreki-senpai discovered that Otomo Kyoko was dating Ajihara, the director of the drama department in his class. He did not envy them, but blessed them. Only. However, he discovered that Ajihara was in two different ways and wanted to get Ajihara back on the right track. However, he was told that if he told the story, he would spread the unsightly photos of Otomo Kyoko. Then, in anger, he beat Agiwara. But no one understood him, and in order to prevent Otomo Kyoko from becoming a laughing stock, he took all the blame. This incident was regarded as very ordinary and very embarrassing. Because I didn't like Otomo Kyoko, I was jealous of her boyfriend and then the fight happened. This is really embarrassing, Bai Yinghui thought in his heart. Of course, she wasn't saying what Oreki-senpai did was embarrassing, but she felt that she had seen the drama club's performance during the school festival. I think the lead actor Ajihara did a very good job. And now, this kind of despicable person is really disgusting. I unexpectedly learned about a matter of justice that had not been served. Bai Yinghui sat on the chair. Although her family background is not good. My mother ran away because my father went bankrupt, and because my father has the reputation of being bankrupt, he can only do odd jobs here and there to survive. Then I can only rent this small room. But she wasn't disgusted or dissatisfied. After all, this is her home. In other words, in such a family situation, she has very little power. Only. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 685. Having little strength is not a reason to do nothing or work hard. Thinking about it this way. She picked up the phone. The voice suddenly came from the mobile phone. Moses. So happy. Kei-chan actually took the initiative to call me. Do you want to play together? This is a very lively voice. This is her classmate and friend Fujiwara Moha. Moai is a very cute girl. Also very attentive. When Shirogane Kei joined Shichi Academy, he received help from Moha as a student from an external school, and was then roped into the student union. So I integrated into this academy all of a sudden. Bai Yinghui was very grateful for this. Only, what is a little unacceptable is, Moai is too enthusiastic and always clings to her. She didn't know how to resist. Actually, Shirogane Kei then told Moha the truth about Oreki Houtarou. Oh, that's it? However, Fujiwara Moha's interest seemed to have suddenly dropped. I thought it was Kei-chan who wanted to play with me. If this is the case, what do you want Kei-chan to do? Fujiwara Moha asked. Pi a friend's book. A veteran author of daily comics. Introduction, what to do about lead poisoning. Calcium sodium edetate can be dissolved. What about narcotic poisoning? Naloxone can help. Benzodiazepine poisoning. Flumazenol resolves it. So, what about Gabriel that I like? There's no cure for it, it's love that lasts forever. Chapter 325 Fujiwara Moha is in action. What do I want to do? Bai Yinghui asked. Well, I will support Kei-chan, Moha said quickly. Actually, I don't want to destroy Kei-chan's purity. But you already know this now, so I'll tell you the follow-up. Fujiwara Moha said. Oreki senpai was picked up by my elder sister and Shinomiya senpai in person. Then she also told me the whole story. Yes, Kei-chan, what you know now is the truth. And in the follow-up, Otomo Kyoko did not go to the high school. She didn't study well, so she didn't succeed in getting into higher education. After all, she spends her school time falling in love, so how can she study honestly? So the grades were directly brushed. And that Agiwara, he has been thrown to some small country to dig coal. And this is what senior sister Shinomiya did. They respected Oreki senpai's wish to protect Otomo Kyoko. So this matter was not exposed, Fujiwara Moai said. Then what are we going to do? Kei-chan asked immediately. She found that since Shinomiya senpai and the others were not exposed, this was respecting Oreki senpai's wishes. Only, the life Oreki senpai is living now is terrible. A proud woman was thrown downstairs into a poor place like her. And he obviously did nothing wrong, and he can even be a very manly person. As a result, he was treated like this. Kei-chan felt unfair. Well, how did Kei-chan know this today? Moha made a cute voice. This. Kei-chan hesitated. This matter is quite important. So I hope Kei-chan won't hide it from me. Because I like Kei-chan very much, Moha said in a serious tone. Kei-chan. Bai Yinghui hesitated, and then told his benefactor the truth. Actually, I met Oreki senpai today. He lives downstairs from my house. Is that so? Menjai seemed to hesitate for a moment. So the current actions are all your own, Kei-chan. Or is it Oreki senpai who wants your help? Fujiwara Moha spoke very fast, but Kei-chan had to work hard to keep up. But hearing this, Bai Yinghui shook his head. He told me not to do anything. Oh. Moha continued to make cute sounds. Then I understand. If this is the case, then Oreki senpai hopes to continue to protect Otomo Kyoko. So if we expose the truth, it will go against his wishes. But don't worry, there are things we can do. Oreki senpai is now a first-year student in the high school, so there are second and third-year students in the high school. The only ones who know about this rumor are his classmates. So, if you can give him a little more image, then he can still fit into high school. What we need to do is beautify his image, Fujiwara Moha said. Then what should we do? Kei-chan thinks that Moha is not only cute but also very reliable. Simple. Find a strong person with a strong image to lift him up. This will confuse other people, even his classmates, about whether the rumors about him in the past are true. After all, neither Otomo Kyoko nor Ajihara are in Shichi Academy anymore, so they can think whatever they want. So just do this, Moai said. So smart, Kei-chan said. It's just this powerful image of someone. Hey. Of course she is my sister. Moai said. There are 3 sisters in her family. The eldest sister Fujiwara Toyomi. The second sister is Chika Fujiwara. And she is the youngest Fujiwara Moha. The eldest sister is in the undergraduate department of Shichi Academy and is the vice president of the student union. The second sister is now the student council president of the high school department. As a family of officials, it is not surprising that the second sister joins the student union. And now that the second sister is the student council president, her image is enough. Now, this is the first time Zyogui has asked her for help, and Moai wants to help. She admires Zyugui's sense of justice. But she didn't want to let her simple mind sink too deep, so she decided to take over the work first and ask someone who could help. Then. Don't want. Absolutely not. Fujiwara Moha's plan went bankrupt instantly. Because she was asking for help from her second sister Fujiwara Chika, who was secretly reading a romance novel. The answer was immediately negative. If I were asked to date Oreki senpai, I would rather commit suicide by jumping off a building, Fujiwara Chika said immediately. Menjai. Moai looked confused. Because. If you hate the other person so much, then don't save the other person in the first place. There is no reason to help others but not to the end. Fujiwara Moha is a little clever. She felt that since her sister and the others rescued Oreki senpai, they also dragged him into the student union. So it stands to reason that it is a protection for the other party. At the same time, it can also be seen as an endorsement of the other person's character. So, if we go one step further, it's okay to have a fake relationship, right? Isn't this the result? Don't want. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 686. Chika Fujiwara said. I don't want to date Oreki senpai. First of all, what I like is Nian Shang. Besides, I like people who work hard. Then. Oreki's image is terrible. Half of her face was covered by black hair. It looks gloomy. Even if you say this is a fake relationship, you can break up after a certain period of time. But. Chika Fujiwara refused without mercy. It's just that people still say, ah, Chika, have you ever dated Oreki senpai? How funny. After being told so. Fujiwara Chika clearly said cute words, but her tone was filled with extreme disgust. My image will also be shattered. Fujiwara Moha. Moai is still holding her cell phone. She suddenly realized that she couldn't deny her sister. Because the current image of Oreki senpai in school is really a gloomy type. He doesn't talk to others much either. The bangs are very long, covering half of her face. Wear a pair of Audio-Technica headphones all day long. He seems to be the kind of silent homebody. It certainly won't be welcomed. So I can understand why my sister is so resistant. She couldn't find a breakthrough from her sister, so Moha had to reply to Shirogankei. Is it? Bai Yinghui was a little disappointed, but she didn't say that she would let Moai help with everything. Then I'm thinking of a solution myself, Bai Yinghui said. She has a natural sense of justice, so when Oreki senpai told her that she didn't need to care, she felt that she wanted to do something for him. Don't figure it out alone. This matter is actually quite big. Xiaoke, you are too naive and you won't be able to handle it, Fujiwara Moha said. Otherwise, I'd better go to your place. Now, Bai Yinghui asked. Isn't it convenient? No Mo, I said. But I don't have anything for entertaining at home. Xiaogui said. This is not important. What kind of relationship do we have? We don't need such exaggerated things. Fujiwara Moha said, and then ended the call happily. She knew that Kei-chan's family was very poor. But she admired Kei-chan's poor but aloof and innocent character. She was poor, but she didn't hide it. Like white peonies blooming in black mud. This made Moai feel very beautiful. Moha knew she was a bit perverted, but Kei-chan was just too cute. Therefore, regarding Oreki-senpai, we really can't just let Kei-chan do it on his own. She didn't want Kei-chan to be attracted to Oreki-senpai. Because Kei-chan is a good boy, it's best not to get involved in such a big thing as love. She has known about Otomo Kyoko's bad things for a long time, or there are a lot of such messy things in the circle. And now, Moha thought about it. Sister, I have to go out for a while and will be back before dinner, Moai said. Where you go? Go and see Oreki-senpai, Moha said. Sister, don't you dislike Oreki-senpai's dark image? But my intuition tells me that a boy with such a hairstyle might be a handsome guy. I wiped Dashkin, who quickly turned around and put her hands on the sofa. She said nervously, don't be like this. My love philosophy tells me that if a girl is interested in a boy, it won't be long before she falls in love with him. Haha, Menjai sneered. No need to worry. Moha is not interested in ordinary boys. Because she wanted to protect Kei-chan, Fujiwara Moha took a taxi and went out directly. Kinhua stood at the door and watched her sister Chan's actions. To be honest, she doesn't like trouble very much. But now, my sister Chan is also in danger. Because after finishing the incident with the junior high school student Oreki, she also obtained information about Oreki Houtarou. At that time, the face on Oreki Houtarou's profile was not as gloomy as it is now. There is no such dark bangs to block it. In other words, Oreki Houtarou is actually pretty good looking. So, isn't it troublesome for Sister Chan here? Ah! Kinhua complained. My vacation. As the student council president, she has to deal with a lot of troublesome documents every day, and she doesn't want to do it, but in front of Kagaya, she wants to show that she is very capable and hard-working. So I was very tired. As a result, I finally took a break and had to start working again. In this way. Moai, wait for me. Kinhua said immediately. I also need to go. She hailed a taxi and had to go with her sister. The other side. In a shabby apartment. Because of the meeting with Shirogane-kei, Oreki had to stay here for the time being. Then prepare to use teleportation to stay in a comfortable room later. The 1 million given by your brother will not be spent in vain. Oreki-san will not treat himself harshly. At this time, Oreki noticed the sound of taxis coming from the street outside the window. Then there was the sound of movement on the second floor. It seems that Bai Yinghui, who lives upstairs, came downstairs. Moha-chan was Shirogane-kei's voice. Kei-chan went downstairs and headed directly to the street. Sister Kinhua, it was Bai Yinghui's voice. Their voices could be heard in the distance. According to Shirogane-kei's name, it seems that the Fujiwara sisters came together. Q-chan is still so cute, I don't know who this female voice belongs to. I just pretend I don't exist. This was the voice of another new girl. After a while, Oreki discovered that the three of them walked directly to his room on the first floor. Dong dong. Because the room was too shabby and there was no doorbell, they just knocked on the door. But Oreki didn't avoid it, he opened the door. Hello. It's Oreki-senpai, right? The first person to talk was a cute little girl with twin tails. This should be Fujiwara Moha. But it was not her that Oreki cared about, but Chika Fujiwara. Long pink hair, a bow, and an innocent and cute face. Oreki senpai. But Fujiwara Chika got stuck in front of her sister. Then he spoke directly to Oreki. Let's date, Chika Fujiwara said. X2. Oreki and Moha feel the same now. Chika Fujiwara is really an unexpected person. As for Moai, she stared at her sister in astonishment, because this is not what you said at home, sister. You said it wrong but Kinhua said quickly. Let's pretend to be dating. Kei-chan. Kei-chan immediately realized that this was Fujiwara senpai's promise to help Oreki senpai change his popularity. Although I was also frightened. But the gentleman Oreki invited all three of them to his home. Although the room is small, it seems less shabby because I bought some daily necessities. But now all they can ask for is paper cups mixed with boiling water. Kinhua. After sitting down, Chika Fujiwara was a little confused for a moment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 687. So, why are you here? I don't think I informed Fujiwara senpai that I moved here. Oreki-san said seriously. Ah, this. Fujiwara Moai wanted to laugh. That. Sorry, Oreki senpai. Kei-chan apologized immediately. I was still wondering if I could do anything for you. In other words, she is the reason why the current Chika Fujiwara's sisters are here. Did you want to do something for him and entrusted the Fujiwara sisters? Bai Yingwei is such a good boy. Oreki decided to reward this good boy in return after sending the Fujiwara sisters back. Oreki's mission this time is to bring order to things, at least to oust Fujiwara Chika from the position of student council president, so he also needs to contact the other party. Fujiwara Chika didn't know how outrageous this junior was thinking, but she said it with integrity. I brought you to the students earlier. But there were still some formalities that were a little bit behind after that. At least you have to change everyone's perception of you. If you don't change your protection of Otomo Kyoko, then you will use other ways to increase your popularity. Then downplay the effect of Otomo Kyoko's incident. Chika Fujiwara said. And after thinking about it, I realized that it is really for ordinary students. If you want them to change their view of you all of a sudden, you still have to borrow the power of others. And this force. Kinhua raised her head slightly, as if she felt proud of herself. Of course I am the student council president of the high school department. There is no one more popular than me right now. Kinhua raised her head and face, as if she was waiting for a compliment. But she was obviously bragging about herself. Yes, Kinhua was very popular among boys because of her lively and cheerful personality, and she also had a good relationship with girls. But not as good as Shinomiya Kagaya at all. Regardless of whether they are boys or girls, the students in the school still think that the most popular one is Shinomiya Kagaya, the eldest daughter of the Shinomiya family with the most prominent family background. So, Oreki understood what she was thinking after hearing what she said. She planned to use her popularity to eliminate his negative influence, and the way to do this was, to associate with him. Because Kinhua is very popular and outstanding, the boy she chooses, must not be bad. That's how people understand it. Then Oreki's image immediately received positive support. This is taking advantage of the situation. Let people think like this first, and then let them do a few positive things here and it's over. For example, what kind of charity donation organization should I join? For example, I was running around with a stray kitten in the rain, and then someone happened to witness me. This is actually more efficient. It was much more straightforward than Oreki-san bringing his classmates to witness his dwelling. But you have to know, this must be fake. Kinhua added. The duration, 1 month, almost 2-3 months can turn your image around. That makes sense, Oreki nodded. Kinhua's plan is good. He has always been interested in energy conservation. So if it can save energy, then it is not impossible to agree to the other party's plan. In this way. Then, Fujiwara-senpai, please come with me. Oreki started a private chat mode with Fujiwara Chika. About dating. I think it needs to be considered. He said. Huh, but Kinhua put her hands on her hips in astonishment. You won't say that I'm not worthy of you. Of course not. There are just some things I need you to know, Oreki said. Kinhua. So, Oreki-senpai, what do you want to say? Kinhua found that she was taken directly out of the house by Oreki, and then came to the outside of the street. It seemed like, it was the same thing as Zyogui and his sister Moha couldn't say anything. Actually. Oreki said. I'm grateful for the help from Fujiwara-senpai and Shirogane-senpai. But my situation is actually not that bad. So, renting here now is just to increase sympathy and then improve the image. Because Fujiwara-senpai is willing to help with his own life, I feel that I should tell you the truth, Oreki-senpai said. But Chika's expression almost turned into Kayamaji. Then I go. Kinhua almost made a fuss. Brother Oreki, don't you think this is too treacherous? There is such a thing. Chapter 326 The Thousand Flowers begins the battle. Chika was shocked and felt that Senior Oreki was too treacherous. But you can't say it's all fake. Although it is true that I was kicked out by my father, my brother also gave me 1 million in living expenses. Furthermore, Otomo Kyoko can't go to high school. Now she has transferred to another school, and Ajino has also been assigned to dig coal in the valley. So I should also move on from this matter. Then isn't it important to work hard for your own image? Oreki said. Kinhua. It seems to make sense. However, very unexpectedly, Chika Fujiwara found that she seemed to understand. Because Oreki-senpai insists on protecting Otomo Kyoko, he has been misunderstood by outsiders. Although people who really care about him will understand him. But now his father still rejects him, which is quite serious. An upper-class family like theirs is very troublesome and dirty. In serious cases, they may even be deprived of their inheritance rights. So Kinhua reacted. Oreki-senpai is currently protecting himself. Anyway, he was kicked out by his father, so, making the most of this matter is the right plan. And this is already done by the outstanding students of Shichi Academy. A slight hesitation. Oreki-senpai, are you interested in becoming a member of parliament, prime minister, or something like that? Kinhua asked keenly. What you're doing has some potential. Then the current atmosphere among congressmen is very bad. However, the reason why Oreki told Fujiwara Chika the truth was that he discovered that Chika's plan was the most energy-saving. At the same time, Chika Fujiwara looked smiling, but she was not an idiot. Oreki graduated from a Kyosei high school, and Chika graduated from Shichi Academy. At the same time, the family's grandfather also served as prime minister, so his insight is definitely not low. In this way, Oreki is an appropriate showdown to get the opponent's assistance. I have no interest in politics, Oreki said. Now I just want to have a good relationship with everyone at Shichi Academy. But then he said in a very utilitarian tone, I am just the adopted son of the family. It has been decided that the eldest brother will inherit the family business. Therefore, the students in this school have connections that may be related to my future. So if you don't try to do something, then the future will probably be very bad. The above is purely for my own benefit. However, these things did not make Fujiwara Chika lower her evaluation of the other party. Rather say, Oreki-senpai is already in his first year of high school, so he has to think about these things. In this way, after thinking about it, help people until the end. Kinhua said. Chika Fujiwara, will lend you a little bit of my popularity. So, Kinhua said. Pretend it when you go to school tomorrow. You can wait for me directly at the small slope in front of the school tomorrow. Then we go to school together. First create the illusion of going to school together. Kinhua said. Looks like it helped. But who is Oreki? He immediately heard Kinhua's subtext. This guy didn't want to sacrifice his reputation. Because the purpose is to get everyone to pay attention to him again, and then he will do some positive things to win people's hearts and refresh everyone's view of him. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 688. Then, it's okay even if you don't interact with each other. But the efficiency of doing so will be reduced, because nothing can bring greater excitement to students than being the boyfriend of the student council president. Think so? Oreki stared at her. In other words, Fujiwara-senpai is willing to help me, Oreki said. Of course. Kinhua patted her chest gently as if to show that she was reliable. Thank you very much, then, Oreki said. However, I'm curious. If Fujiwara-senpai openly goes to school with me, will it be okay if his evaluation will drop? It's okay, it's just a joke. Kinhua said quickly, as long as the result of the matter can be achieved, then it is okay for her not to have a relationship. Because communicating is very troublesome. Not only do you have to make time to answer each other's calls and send messages every day, but you also have to look intimate in front of so many friends. At the same time, you may also have limited quality time with friends. She wants to be with Kagaya-san, who wants to be with her junior. Junior Oreki also had ideas and preparations, so she only needed help instead of fake dating according to the original plan, which made her feel comfortable. Only. Fujiwara-senpai, have you ever thought about taking this opportunity to make some friends? Junior Oreki asked again at this time. Kinhua seemed to be surprised. Then. It's impossible to date, Oreki. Kinhua said immediately. Really, Oreki said. I thought this was mutually beneficial. Fujiwara-senpai could also use this to make up for the emotional gap. Hey. Kinhua said immediately. I'm very popular in school. So when it comes to relationships, I'm not blank. Kinhua was a little panicked. Because she felt that this junior wanted her to date him. But you basically rejected me, right? Junior Oreki said. Speak of it. Fujiwara-senpai is already a second-year student, and he will be a third-year student next year. In the end, I never even had a relationship. It's so shameful. Oreki said. Thousands of flowers. Fujiwara Chika felt that she had received a knowing blow. She was a self-proclaimed love detective in school, and she did not think there was any shame in not being in love. But now. You guy. How courageous. You actually mock such a cute senior. Junior Oreki waved his hand. So, Fujiwara-senpai actually has no experience in love yet. But in school, I often call myself a love guru, love detective Kinhua, etc., and then give advice on other people's love experiences and so on. Oreki smiled. Kinhua. Damn it. She is active in the girls' group as the love detective Chika, however, she has really, never been in love. Well. Thousands of flowers. If it was exposed, her reputation would definitely be affected. Are you trying to threaten me? Chika immediately looked in the direction of Oreki. However, when his eyes looked over, he was stunned for a moment. Because she saw Oreki take out some banknotes from the backpack on one side. The banknotes are all in denomination of 10,000. Jejejemu. What kind of person do you think I am? Kinhua said quickly. Don't take out the money. But Oreki-senpai took out the money unhurriedly. Senior Kinhua's tutoring must be very strict. Even with grandpa's secret help. But it's still impossible to spend more than 150,000 yen in a month. Although I often go shopping with my friends, I can only look at things and do window shopping. Window shopping is literally what I mean. No matter how much I like it, I don't have the money to buy it. Obviously they are a family, but they live such a frugal life. Although our fathers hope that you will develop the habit of not spending a lot of money. Only. Now that I'm in high school, I want to go karaoke with Kagaya-san. Don't you want to go to the water park with Kagaya-san? Don't you want to go? Junior Oreki whispered in her ear. For Kinhua, who has a glorious family background but is economically frugal, this is no less than a whisper from the devil. Ah, you are such a devil. Kinhua immediately hugged her head. This is a sign that her defense is about to fall. But Junior Oreki continued to bewitch. So, Fujiwara-senpai, you can consider my proposal. During the relationship, I can give you material rewards. Then, with the money, you can drink a cup of milk or 2 cups of milk tea. And have fun going out with friends. You really want to persuade Hayasaka-san from Kagaya's class to go out with Kagaya-san. Although Kagaya-san is in the Shinomiya family, there are a lot of restrictions, and it is difficult to smile sincerely. She travels in the family car every day, but she will also be envious of the other students who walk to school by themselves outside the car and go to school with their friends. She also longs for being able to make beautiful memories with her friends. And you, Fujiwara-senpai, who can't do all of this, are you really Shinomiya-senpai's friend? Oreki continued to use the devil's summons. Ah! Kinhua's defense was immediately reduced. How can you move out Kagaya-san? Kinhua's hands finally dropped. This is also a sign of her giving up on herself. So she said. How much do you give me a month? 200,000 a week, Oreki said. 800,000 a month. Wow! Kinhua was stunned for a moment. Because the family gave her pocket money, her mother gave her 50,000, and she often tried to please her grandfather, who then gave her an additional 50,000. Of course, this was hidden from my mother. So, she is really relatively poor. Although I don't mind the consumption of ordinary people, 100,000 yen can't buy much at all. Because I want to drink milk tea. Minus 300. This novel is so interesting that I bought it and hid it, because her family didn't allow her to read it. Minus 600. This comic is so exciting. Minus 500. This little owl is super cute. Minus 100,000. Ah! No more. There are a lot of things I want to buy. She also wants to go shopping with Kagaya-san. And these, all require money. Need money. Need money. Need money. Let's date. Oreki-san. I suddenly feel that you are very attractive. Kinhua was defeated. Then let's pretend to date for now, Oreki said. Oreki's mission is to make Chika Fujiwara step down from her position as student council president. So what's the plan? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 689. Let her resign herself. Or, to be more direct, become the student council president and drive her out. And even if you don't become the student council president yourself, you still have to convince someone to become the student council president. And according to Yu Ishigami's experience, it is very difficult whether he wants to do it himself or recommend it to others. Because there is no popularity, only the negative impact of the Otomo Kyoko incident. Therefore, you need to modify other people's evaluation of yourself first. This can be accomplished by becoming the boyfriend of the student council president. However, Chika extracted an important part from Oreki's words. Fake relationship, Kinhua blinked lightly. She had just been blinded by money and thought that she really had no choice but to date. Because experience does not necessarily require real experience to gain, simulation is also possible, Oreki said. And I just need to rely on Senior Kinhua's popularity. So this is not a conflict. Rather, I have never thought about dating Kinhua-senpai. I have a girl I like. Kinhua. Oh. The reaction just now was obviously very intense, but now Kinhua pouted. New. Then Fujiwara-senpai, can you help me open up some connections, Oreki said. Huh, Kinhua blinked. What you up to? Oreki rode. This time you intervened with the help of Sister B&K. It helped me a lot. So, I want to help a little bit. I live here to gain sympathy, but Bai Yingwei can only live here because of his family. Kui Chan's father also graduated from a prestigious university in the past. The reason why his salary is so low now is because the company he joined went bankrupt, so he was treated unfairly. I want to turn this place around, Oreki said. Let me take a look. Kinhua hesitated. Right. Before, Moya liked Xiaogui's poor and noble appearance, so I originally wanted to help my father by saying good things about Bai Yin's dad, using my father's connections, and then let Bai Yin's dad be treated normally and return to the company. Work. As a result, Moai stopped him. Now that I think about it, I really shouldn't spoil my sister too much. Kinhua said. Oreki. No, so your sister is a bit scary. Moha in the original novel is cute, but a bit yandere. Her dream is to eat Kaguya and raise Shirogane-K for the rest of her life. In this way, probably a transaction was made. Chika Fujiwara quickly returned with her sister Chen. Oreki was originally going to give her this week's 200,000 yuan, but she seemed to want to hide it from her sister Chen, so she declined. After all, the relationship hadn't been announced to the public yet, and it hadn't helped him regain his popularity, so she was embarrassed to accept Oreki's money. It can be seen that although Chika Fujiwara is easily bribed, she is also a reliable person. Although I often worry about her becoming the student council president, will this school be fine, will this school not be broken, etc., but looking at it now, I can still believe her. That. Watching the Fujiwara sisters leave, Shirogane-K stood guard at Oreki's door. Thank you for today, Shirogane-senpai. Oreki said. If it weren't for your help, then there would definitely be no hope of any improvement in my treatment. So thank you very much. Well. That. It's okay. Shirogane-K felt that Fujiwara-senpai would agree. In the end, it was Oreki-senpai's own efforts. She just helps thread the needle. And the person who wants to thank is also Menjai, who brought her sister here. Anyway, Oreki said. I'm a fair man. You helped me this time, and I will repay you. Whether it's life or study, if I can help you, please ask me, Oreki said. However, he found that after he said this, Bai Yingwei was silent for a rare 2 seconds. Then. So, Oreki-senpai, can you do me a favor? Sister Shirogane's voice sounded. Chapter 327 Sister Bian's Request. Bai Yingwei's voice sounded. I hope my father can be treated fairly and justly. His company went bankrupt, but it was not his fault, it's just that people seem to blame him. It's obvious that Dad has a very good academic qualifications and a very hard-working attitude. But no one is willing to use him. I hope he can be treated fairly. Dad comes home late every day and works odd jobs, which is very hard, but I know that he is in pain inside. I hope that someone can confirm that he dash. Bai Yingwei hesitated for a while and said. Oreki. Kei-chan is such a little angel. I don't feel inferior because of poverty, nor do I hide anything to satisfy my so-called vanity, but I sincerely hope that my father can cheer up. Really a good kid. This reminded Oreki of Archangel Ichino's. Leave this matter to me, Oreki-senpai said. Thank you, senior. After hearing the good news, Kei-chan immediately held Oreki's right hand with both hands. Oreki is no longer the innocent boy he once was, but he still feels a little unnatural when being held by a girl. For example, what I experience now is that my schoolgirl's hands are very soft. Probably because he noticed that Oreki was suddenly silent, Kei-chan felt strange for a moment. Finally, he quickly realized that she seemed to have taken the initiative just now. And just then, Kei-chan. Dad is back today. My wages are paid today. I bought you half a roast duck. Bai Yinghui's father's voice came from downstairs, followed by the sound of people walking up the stairs quickly. Then, with a bang, the bag in Bian's father's hand fell down. Kei-chan. What are you? Are you going to have a boyfriend? Are you moving out? Are you going to abandon Dad? Bian's father instantly shut himself up. Evening. Oreki sat in the living room in a daze for a while, and then he was about to use teleportation to go to his real rented place. Now that Fujiwara Chika is helping, there is no need to pretend to be miserable. However, just as he was about to set off, he found the doorbell ringing. Senior Shirogane. Oreki opened the door, and what he saw was a middle-aged man with blonde hair. He looked several years older than he really was. These are signs of overthinking and overworking. And this is Bai Yinghui's father. Yo, boy. Shirogana's father greeted Oreki here. But after saying this, he jammed his hands directly into the crack of the door, as if he wanted to force his way in. He looked like he was coming with bad intentions. Oreki could have just punched the other person out, but for Shirogane Kei's sake, he let the door open. Crack. Bai Yinghui's father closed the door directly. Then it was locked up mainly against customers. Oreki. Oreki's body has been systematically transformed and has long surpassed human limits, so he doesn't worry about being in danger. So he was completely unafraid of what the Silver Daddy wanted to do. So what does he want to do? Oreki quickly analyzed. From the face-to-face meeting just now, it can be confirmed that this father is a daughter-in-law. At the same time, after going through a prestigious university background, he ended up living a life of doing odd jobs. As a result, he still faced his daughter with a smile when he came home. This is a strong man. He is the type who wants to save money for his family and is willing to only drink cold fruit at work. And then such a father deliberately breaks in here, that is to say. Oreki-kun, right. Can you let Kei-chan go? Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 690. If you have any needs, you can come to me. Dad Bian said with his hands clasped together. These words made Oreki-san fall silent. Really? You can't have high expectations for Shirogana's father. What does it mean to go to him when you have a need? It would be scary if you really need to find him, okay. Even though he was thinking about Oreki like this, he still noticed that Shirogana's father's attention was always on him when he said these ridiculous remarks. Or is Dad Bian actually testing his reaction here? Makes sense. Bai Yinghui is very simple, but his father is always running around, so his inner growth must be great. So Shirogane Kei probably told his side of the story thanks to his father's superb verbal skills. So the Silver Dad was probably thinking about whether he was getting close to his daughter on purpose. That's why I wanted to test it like this. Faced with such inquiries from Bai Yin's father, if you have a guilty conscience, you will indeed be at a disadvantage. He might even be completely defeated in front of Bai Yinghui. Then you have to answer it well. But People in this world are very smart, but this world is also very realistic. Oreki looked at Shirogana's father without changing his expression. That's true. I took advantage of your daughter. But in exchange, the problem with your job is about to be solved. Then Bien got the gratitude of helping me. At the same time, in the process of helping me, her relationship with her classmates became closer. Let her classmates' evaluation of her rise. And once your workside problems are solved, your income will go up. Then you don't have to live a life of poverty. Then, do you still have any dissatisfaction? Oreki said calmly and directly. You guy. These words silenced Dad Bien, but his mood changed instantly. As expected, Bien's father's timid expression just now changed and became serious. But he took a deep breath and then sighed. This is a sign of giving up the fight. You really have no intention of fighting, Oreki said, looking at Shirogana's father's expression of giving up instantly. What can I do? Dad Bien said, if I had my way, it wouldn't be like this. Say the company went bankrupt. Actually, I just offended someone when I was very young, Bai Yin's father said. When I was young, I competed with rich second-generation women for women. Then I won, and then there was Xiaogui. However, she lived a very poor life, and in the end, she was snatched away in the end. Or she left voluntarily. It turns out that this is the past. Oreki chose to be a listener for the time being. He has not yet stepped out of society and has not experienced the hardships of society. And Bien's father went on to say. So I recognized my destiny a long time ago. And Kei-chan is my last treasure that needs to be guarded with my life. So, no matter who it is, I won't hand it over. Oreki-kun, I'm actually quite happy that you can honestly tell me that you took advantage of Kei. Because it's better for someone who tells what they do directly than someone who hides it. I'm not sure whether the workside problem can be solved. But no matter what, thank you. Dad Bien said seriously. At this time, his expression was very serious. And Oreki thought that he would show this attitude when he was just being questioned. What he chose here was to directly tell the other party that he was taking advantage of Kei. And just like Bien's father thinks, it will make him feel at ease if he directly mentions the use here. Because this shows that Oreki has no intention of doing anything to Shirogane Kei. In his family situation, there is nothing he can do about his daughter being taken a liking to by a rich second generation and then playing with her. This is the pity for parents. So, after sending Shirogana's father back, Oreki used teleportation to go to another house of his. However, during this time, he still called Kinhua's phone number. Fujiwara-senpai. Kinhua was probably applying a facial mask, and it took more than 10 seconds before she answered the phone. Ah. So, what's going on? Although, even though I agreed to date you, I still have to have my own private time at night. Besides, you said it was a lie, so why sleep together? You can't do this kind of thing. Oreki. What kind of books are you reading? There is no obligation between lovers to sleep with each other. It would be better to say that even when he was dating his girlfriend, he was always passive. Oreki has always been harmless to humans and animals. You are overthinking, Junior, Oreki said. Fujiwara-senpai is not my type. I already have someone I like. Kinhua. Then what are you going to do? She was said this twice in a row today, and Chika Fujiwara's tone instantly became very readable. Oreki directly told her the offending information revealed by Shirogana's father himself. Before, I just entrusted her with help, but I didn't tell her the specific content. Now it's time to fill in the details of the people Shirogana's father offended. Well, that's it. It seems like someone is targeting him. New. Leave all these to me, Kinhua said. I was shocked. I thought you were calling because of a date. I have absolutely no experience. I have no experience either, Kinhua said. Then, I'll leave everything to you when you go to school tomorrow morning. Oreki said. I know. Chika realized that this was Oreki asking her to act with him directly in school. Then, Oreki quietly waited for the 1,000 flowers to attack. But while Oreki was waiting for the Chika to dispatch, he unexpectedly discovered Hayasaka AI. Today is Monday and as a student I need to go to school. Oreki also had to pick up Chika Fujiwara and make it look like they were going to school together to give the impression to his classmates. Then, Fujiwara Chika was questioned and said, "Aha, actually, Oreki-senpai confessed to her during the weekend, and then we tried to date her. But what is needed now is to pick her up." Did he? Oreki's cell phone beeped. "I'm ready to go out by Fujiwara Chika. I have arrived at the meeting place," Oreki replied quickly. "What are you doing so early? It takes at least 20 minutes to get there from my house. Are you stupid?" Judging from this reply from Zugushin, Fujiwara Chika must have never been in love. "Just kidding with you. I'm still at home and haven't gone out," Oreki replied. "Your place is quite far away from the meeting place, so do you want me to wait for you there? This makes me lose a lot of money," Fujiwara Chika sent a message. Okay. It was confirmed that Chika Fujiwara really never had a boyfriend. If he hadn't been looking for her to act, Oreki would have wanted to break up immediately after seeing her reply. Because this is even more straight than Horikita-san's behavior. After sending 2 more messages to Chika Fujiwara, Oreki stood aside. Since Kinhua had just gone out, he had to wait for a while. However, just as he was thinking this, he noticed a black car parked at the intersection. A blonde girl came down wearing a ladylike female high school uniform from Shichi Academy. The girl kept a straight face and showed no expression.